I'll read. It's Wednesday morning. I've done a full video yesterday on creating this bot. So this is episode 2 and also take 2. Many apologies, but I did create the bot, and every window that popped open, for example, if I click on here and this window pops open, none of these windows were displaying. So it was impossible to publish the video because it just didn't make sense. I was explaining stuff on these windows that you wouldn't have been able to see throughout the whole video. So yeah, disaster struck. I did create the bot in simulation mode then, using a copy of the example the example football lay the draw strat. I just duplicated that and then amended it to this. I renamed it to Canny over 1.5 goals, and I started it and it got on this bet. And then I did go on and explain this bet. It was actually a winning bet as well. There was the home team won 2-0, and I kept jumping back, but I was keep going into. I'll show you the screen. I was keep going into. I was keep going into this screen here. So I was clicking on this, explaining the goals going in and the number of shots and everything, and it just wasn't on the screen for you guys. Hopefully, it's on the screen here, or this video is going in the bin as well. So many apologies for that, but we did start it yesterday, and this is how we fared. You can see all the winning bets down there, and we've had 3 losing bets. Now, one issue with one of the losing bets was this one. I still don't even know what the score was because there's no live information coming from Betfair. You can see a few gaps here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, 6 of those were winning bets, but what you can't do, you can't, for example, click on here and see how the game played out. So I'm ditching those. There's an option in Betfair Bot Manager to, I'll just show you it. It's this one here, only if live scores are available. So I've added that because I get that there's probably about 5 of the 6 were winning bets, but you still can't go back and see information about the game. Even when I looked up that Trafford game and flash scores, I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find any information. It's just not available. So I'm binning them. They're all obscure games, and they're all, that they've got no updated data during the match. So I'm not interested in having them on there. I'll just do without. It's kind of, even when we go live, we might up this 30 quid because this is the next option here, traded volume. So this is saying we need at least 30 quid on the over or under 1.5 goals market. That starts at 30,000 to give you an example, but 30,000's on the matched odds for lay the draw. So I'll be monitoring that, but at the moment I'm not too fussed about it. With only being in sim mode, we need to try and get on as many games as we can so we can do some analysis. Because it might be that certain countries and certain leagues in those countries are more favourable and profitable to us because there's typically more goals. So we could see a higher strike rate on those and higher profits. Although, having said that, it could be that the prices of those games are lower just through the nature of historically those leagues having higher goals. That's the kind of things we need to be looking at and trying to find out. So the next option, on the next rule on the market conditions then, is only following markets over and under 15, 1.5, sorry. I'm just reading that straight out there. So here we've just got allowing bets on the following market types, and we've just got over and under because that's the only market we want to place a bet on. If you want to create these, apologies, I did go through this yesterday and I'm not repeating it because it's already built. Just pause this video and set them up on your BF Bot Manager. So we only follow events filter. We've got an events filter on football only, and then we've got an over rounds. This is just standard Betfair Bot Manager stuff. This has come over from the lay the draw strategy, and all it does basically, it makes sure the market's mature and there's not too big a gap between the lay and the back prices between themselves. So back price and lay price, it's making sure it's a fully formed market and there's no like massive discrepancy between the maximum, minimum values there. Time to bet, we're setting that to 5 minutes. I'll go in each of these so you can see the exact settings. The reason I'm setting, well, it's 300 seconds there, which is 5 minutes. The reason I'm selecting 5 minutes is because typically in most games you'll get the team lineups an hour before, so I don't like to go as far out as an hour, because the team lineups, like if there's any kind of star players missing, or if it's a cup game and one team's playing a full like reserve team, then that can affect the odds. So you might see the odds jump a little bit, like just an hour out. And then also, and this is less likely but has happened, in the warm-up, sort of 15-20 minutes before the match kicks off, the teams will come out and have a warm-up. If any players get injured at that point, again, if that's a star player, or a goal scorer or a good defender, and they go out injured and they don't play the game, that could affect the odds slightly. So I'm just waiting until 5 minutes before to make sure the market's fully settled price-wise. And that's it on that screen. So we go on to selection conditions. And these are the three conditions we have in here then. The first is making sure we only bet on the position one. And sorry, we only bet where, this in English means we only betting where the home team is a price of 1.01 to 1.99, i.e. less than 2, i.e. less than evens. So that odds on basically to win the game. So we're saying bet only if the specific market selection is in the price range of 1.01, 1.99. And that's selection position 1's the home team, selection position 2 on the match odds market is the away team, and then selection position 3 on the matched odds market is the draw. And we're looking at the back price. So that's just going to the back price for the home team. Okay. And then the next one is just the maximum ratio between back and lay price, 15%. That's just making sure the gap or the spread between the back and the lay price isn't too big, because that would suggest another sort of immature market whereby the prices haven't steadied, or a very low profile game, for example. You don't want to be placing a bet if the back price is like 1.2 and the lay price is 2.2, for example, because it could be that the back price should be like 1.99 or something, and the lay price is 2.2. Even that's quite a big spread. Not the best example of numbers there, but you get the idea. And then bet type by runner position. So we're putting a bet on the over and under 1.5 goals market, and we're putting it on runner position 2. So in this example, runner position 2 is the over 1.5, and runner position 1 is under 1.5. So I'll show you that screen there. So backing on runner position 2. I'll just go into the runner positions a bit more, because some people get quite confused with them. The runner position is dependent on the market. So on the match odds market, the runner position 1's home, which I've already mentioned, 2 away, 3 draw. And the runner positions on the over and under goals is runner position 1's under and runner position 2's over. Now, if you ever get confused and you're not sure what's what, the best thing I can suggest and a good tip is just to go into Betfair Exchange. So if you go into Betfair Exchange here, you can see I'm in Exchange. I'll click on football. And we'll just take the next game up as this one. This should be our next game up for our bets. You can see here it's at 1.53, so I'm fully expecting this one to get a bet on. If I go into it, so for the matched odds, this is your market here in bold. So you've got a matched odds market, you've got an over under 2.5 goals, you've got over and under 1.5 goals, which is what we're interested in. We've got a half-time market. So if you take matched odds, for example, it's the order in the list. This is the position that BFBM Bot Manager refers to. So runner position 1 is the home team, runner position 2 is always the away team, and runner position 3 is always a draw. And that's for the matched odds market. For the over and under 1.5 goals market, The under 1.5 goals is always run at position 1, and the over 1.5 goals market is always position run at 2, and that's why we select run at position 2. If you look at things like correct score, you've got loads of runners here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc. So if you wanted to place a bet on the 0-0 correct score, or put a lay bet on the 0-0 correct score to say that you were expecting a goal, then it's run at position 1. If you wanted to put a bet on the 2-0 market, then it's run at position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's run at position 9. So you don't need to know these all off by heart, but because you can come in here and find out what they are. And the same goes for all of the markets, like in the horses and the greyhounds and things like that. That's typically the horse will be the horse number and the greyhound will be the trap number. So 1 to 6, run up position 1's trap 1, run up position 6 is trap 6. And then the other thing you can do in Betfair Bot Manager is do it on favourite rather than running position. So it's favourite position. So favourite position 1 will always be the favourite. So favourite position 1 on this market here is this one, run up 2, run up position 2, because it's favourite. It's 1.21, whereas run up position 1's 5.1. So I hope that makes sense. So just head back to BF Bot Manager now. So that's why we're putting a back bet on run up position 2. Okay. Price settings, we have just got the default, which is trying to get a price that's worse than 2 ticks. That's just to make sure it gets matched. That's just standard. And level stake, I've set to £1. So every single bet we've put on here, we've put on 28 bets of £1 each. So we've risked £28. We would have been £28 down if every single bet had lost. But we're actually £3.32 in profit, as you can see there, because we've won 25 of the 28 bets with an 89% strike rate. That is quite high, so I think I might have been a bit fortunate yesterday. I think the cup games might have helped, but then again, sometimes the cup games don't go as planned. There's a lot of upsets and that, but the good thing about the upsets is that it won't always affect the over and under 1.5 goal market. We're not really bothered who scores the goals. We're just expecting the home team to score. And if there is an upset where the away team or the underdog does win away from home, then hopefully, as long as there's 2 goals, we'll still win. If it's a underdog playing at home who beats the favourite, then we wouldn't typically get a bet on that anyway, because the underdog at home would be a lot higher than odds of 2.0. So then we've got no after bet or safety bet rules, because we're doing no recovery and we're doing no hedging or anything like that. We're just doing a straightforward bet at the minute. We might look at hedging later on down the line. We might get out when there's a first goal scored for a little profit. But again, that's something we can look at and discuss when we have a look at more data. So we've got 28 bets here already, so we're building up a little bit of data, but we need a hell of a lot more than that, obviously. It's things like we can look at the losses and see if there's any pattern. Would we have won more money if we'd hedged out after the first goal? Obviously, if it's 0-0, then there wasn't the first goal, but I'm not sure the score on this Trafford game. Like I said, I'm not actually sure what happened there, but I did change it. So we are not betting on these games where you can see blanks in here now. Because I still don't know what the score of that game was, and that's what makes it hard to analyse further down the line, which is simply why I wanted to get these games out of the equation. So I'm only going to have games where we have got results. Okay, so it's 10:05 now, and just going back to Betfair then, and I'll just go back one screen here. So it's 10:05, and I'm expecting our next bet to be at it's starting in, does that say 58 minutes? That's an 11 o'clock kickoff. If I just go in and have a look at if I view the full market for the over and under 1.5, you can see there's been 63 quid bet on it, on the over and under 1.5. So that's enough, because we've got a threshold of 30 quid. So I'm hoping we'll get on that. That range there looks tight enough as well. So yeah, that's it for this one. We will see. That should I haven't had a look at the fixtures today, although there will be on here. There should be more EFL Cup games tonight, is there? Because they're normally played on the Tuesday and the... sorry, I'll go back one more screen here. I think they're played on the Tuesday and Wednesday nights normally. I'm not sure how many there are. Looks like there's a bit of football anyway. 5 o'clock. There's quite a bit actually, because of the dots at the bottom of the page there. So that looks like more European games. That'll be the qualifiers for the Europa and the Champions League probably. And here we go. Here's the so Bristol City, Oxford United's a candidate, Cardiff, Colchester is, and also Ipswich, Bristol Rovers. So we should get on quite a few more games today and tonight. We've got Leeds, we've got Rangers there. We've got that game, if whoever that is. So you get the idea that there's plenty to go at today. So all it'll do, it'll allow us to build up this data here on this screen here. So the 28 games, the 28 bets will rise, hopefully another 30 or so today, and we'll be off and running and getting some interesting data. But yeah, it was a good starting day yesterday, £3.32 profit. So tune in for the next one. In the meantime, gan canny.